Hey there, Jacob and Daryl from Nerd Party, and today we're going to be going over what we saw this weekend coming from Hall H at ComicCon, specifically from Marvel. Let's do it.
Alright guys, let's start out with the Eternals. And to be honest, I did not know a lot about the Eternals before this.
I mean, I consider myself pretty well in the nose, and I can honestly say that I don't know shit about the Eternals.
So we had to whip out Wikipedia. They are pretty awesome. They are like the early human. They were created as the defenders of Earth. They're imbued with celestial powers, and they've been hiding.
Kevin Feige said that they described the film as an ancient alien story, so all of these myths and legends that we know from ancient times, were they inspired by the Eternals? And also, Thanos was actually a member of the Eternals as well.
So we're going to get a little back history on Thanos.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be awesome.
I really love the cast, which makes me even more excited for this. In particular, Richard Madden. Of course, he's from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And also Kumail Nanjiani.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
That Uber movie?
Yeah, he's in it with Dave Bautista, so maybe
Drax.
Yeah, so maybe they shared some hints on exactly what it was going to be like to be in a Marvel movie. Lauren Ridloff, she's someone who is deaf in real life, and she's actually going to play a superhero in this movie and be the first superhero deaf in movies. So some pretty exciting casting news coming from the Eternals. So next thing we're going to be going over is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which will be Marvel Studios' first foray into episodic television, coming on Disney+.
Yeah, and so in this series, Falcon is going to be struggling with the fact that he is Captain America, which is going to be really hard.
Yeah.
Considering the fact that the government probably wants someone else.
This show is not titled Captain and Winter Soldier. Yeah. It's titled The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. To top it off, you're going to have the reintroduction of Daniel Bruhl as Baron Zemo.
If you remember, he was actually the only villain to succeed in what he was trying to do. He
That's
did
true.
break up the Avengers.
What he did led into what happened during Infinity War and Endgame. And he was also one of the first sympathetic villains, which Marvel seems to be really embracing right now. And then another thing, the creator of John Wick, Derek Colston, was hired by Disney to write the Falcon and Winter Soldier, which, if he can even do half as kick-ass fight scenes from this show as he does in John Wick, I know that at least they're going to have some worthwhile scenes.
If they do not have 50 headshots in this series, I'm not going to watch.
Yeah, I mean, what's the point? It's just not worth it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Next up is Shang-Chi.
It's been in the pipelines for a little bit, and it really seems like Marvel trying to redeem themselves from what Iron Fist was. Yeah. Which, shocker alert, it was trash. It was not good.
And so we got an actual Asian cast as Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Simu Liu.
Yeah, Simu Liu. I'm not really familiar with him much at all, even when I'm going over through his IMDb. Don't really know anything I've seen him in. And he looks like he kicks some serious ass. He actually tweeted to Disney sometime in 2018 asking them, hey, about that Shang-Chi movie, can I be in it? And yeah, he did. And now he's not only in it, he's playing the title character as well.
And we're finally going to see the real Mandarin.
Or are we?
I really hope so.
Yeah.
Because Iron Man 3 really got me.
Yeah. Wait, you didn't enjoy Ben Kingsley as playing the fake Mandarin?
If he was the real Mandarin.
Yeah. I don't know, would watch that scene where they come on in and he's playing a drunk British actor. Yeah. It's pretty enjoyable to watch.
I was not the biggest fan.
No.
I would have preferred to see the real Mandarin. And we got Tony Leung. Tony Leung cast as the Mandarin.
Yeah. So next we're going to be talking about is WandaVision.
Yeah.
I know you're super excited about this one.
I find the chemistry between Wanda and Vision just so forced.
Yeah. It was kind of basically like, hey, we need a romance, and we also need some basically emotional reason why we should care.
You know what the romance is like? It's like the romance between a Soviet child and a robot. That's what I would equate that chemistry to.
You don't see those romances every day.
Anyway, so this is going to star Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany, which is, WandaVision.
Yeah.
So
this is supposed to be based off of the Visions comic, or part of it at least, which for those who have read it, the Visions, you can agree with me, it's pretty fucking dark. It takes place in Washington, D.C., where Vision has a family. And then another thing that I'm interested about is that Aaron Tyler Johnson is actually in talks to reprise his role as Pietro Maximoff.
Well, if that's true, I'm back on. All right, guys. Next up, we have a fan favorite, Loki. He's getting his own series.
Yeah.
And this Loki is not the Loki that we know.
No.
This is the Loki that stole the Tesseract during Endgame.
Yeah,
So
during their their time in the past, he was able to steal it back.
So yeah, this is a completely different Loki, and we honestly don't know much about the series as of now.
Pretty excited though to see Tom Hiddleston in another TV show. He was in The Night Manager, which he was excellent in, and also just curious to see what exactly the direction they're going to take Loki in. Are they going to move him from kind of like the villain / anti-hero into more of like kind of just being a trickster and an anti-hero?
Yeah. So he's going to be like Deadpool.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably the direction that they'll end up going to. So next we're going to be talking about is Doctor Strange.
In the Multiverse of Madness. What's that about?
No fucking idea.
That's going to be an interesting one. But we got Doctor Strange, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, coming back. And who else is coming back?
Confirmed so far is we have Elizabeth Olsen coming through as Wanda Maximoff.
Yeah, which is great because, as we talked about earlier, WandaVision is going to be directly connected to this movie.
And that I'll be really curious about is who exactly is going to be the villain that is throughout this one. Or, not necessarily the villain. Is if Chiwetel Ejiofor comes back as Mordo. So maybe he won't necessarily become the villain, but he just might become that force that pushes back against Doctor Strange. And to have actually someone who's built up in the first movie makes it really interesting because you're more emotionally invested in that character. That's something I would like to see Marvel really go towards. It's a more emotional investment in their villains.
Yeah. I'm honestly really excited for Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
The first one is a hit and miss for some people, but
yeah.
I feel like now that he's an established character, he's gonna like really just blossom.
Yeah, I really liked what I've seen from Benedict Cumberbatch over the past couple movies, Endgame and Infinity War.
All right, guys. Next up, we have the What If series.
And what's interesting about this is that this is going to be actually an animated series.
Yeah.
So it's really Marvel Studios' first array into animation.
Well, I mean, they've done animation, but it's going to be interesting that the animation is building off of previous Marvel movies.
Yeah.
And this series, it literally could do anything. It's a What If series of like, what if Captain America was a woman? Yeah. What if the Hulk became the Red Hulk?
What if Spider-Man became Venom?
Yeah. What if Captain America died in World War I?
Yeah. 2.
Yes.
Jeffrey Wright playing a Watcher.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know what a Watcher is, go read some comic books.
Yeah. I mean, like, he's, they oversee everything.
Yeah, they're the Watchers, if you will, of the universe. And they never really intervene. I think in one of the end credit scenes for, I think it was Guardians of the Galaxy, that Stan Lee was hanging out with a bunch of Watchers.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I think that was Guardians of the Galaxy 2, right?
Yeah, when they were just like blooping through space. And
look up the call sheet, the acting list of What If series. They had like 30 names of it.
It's kind of a lot. We can't really go through it.
Yeah, so you're going to see a lot of characters that you're pretty familiar with. Definitely something that I'm interested about.
Yeah. What if I wasn't interested?
Well, so next thing we're going to be talking about is Hawkeye, another series coming out from Disney+.
Yeah.
So pretty exciting thing that this one will be, of course, introducing you guys to Jeremy Renner as Clint Barton, noted rock star Jeremy Renner, and also Kate Bishop.
I'm really excited about Kate Bishop because with her introduction, we are 99% sure that they are doing a Young Avengers movie. Yeah. They're probably going to introduce in a lot of the Young Avenger characters into Hawkeye and, kind of build off of that. And maybe potentially we'll be seeing a Young Avengers movie within Phase 5.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they almost turn, Clint Barton's role as kind of like a mentor of sorts to like a lot of these young heroes. Is that if there's not at least one scene where Clint Barton is just riffing on his guitar and, playing a gig after a long day at being Hawkeye, then I will be very disappointed.
Old man Hawkeye just sitting on the front porch.
Just be like, I remember when kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. You guys didn't think I'd be introduced to that.
All right, guys. So next up, we have Thor, Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
This one,
fucking fire. Like, I mean, legitimately so stoked. Like, you just have to look at the Thor: Love and Thunder, and if you don't get like just a little bit excited, and that's not even going into everything else that's attached to it.
We have Chris Hemsworth coming back as Thor, obviously, and we have Tessa Thompson coming back as Valkyrie, and we have Natalie Portman, surprisingly, coming back as Jane Foster.
And not only is she coming back as Jane Foster, but she's actually coming back as the first female Thor.
Yeah. Never happened before.
No, I like it.
Honestly, if they were going to do a female Thor, I would have expected it in the What If series.
Another cool thing about this is that, you know, Thor will not be the king anymore.
Tessa Thompson.
And Valkyrie. And, you know, not only that, but she's actually come out, and Kevin Feige has said that she is the first LGBTQ character. First of all, as new king, she needs to find her queen.
Yeah.
So you know, that'll be pretty interesting. So next we got Black Widow. Something that I'm really excited about, especially with how underutilized her character has really been throughout the movies.
Yeah, it's great that Scarlett Johansson's finally going to get her movie.
Yeah.
This is something that we've known about for a while.
Yeah.
Whether it was going to be a TV show or a movie.
And it's kind of funny that she had to die in the movies in order for her to get her own story.
Yeah, that's totally true. And luckily, this movie is going to take place in between Captain America: Civil War and Infinity War.
And you also have the introduction of some new characters. David Harbour will be introduced as almost like her mentor, or like a former mentor.
Alexei.
Yeah.
She'll be going up against Taskmaster. And I have this slight inkling that his character is actually just going to end up becoming Taskmaster. To kind of, her mentor is now her enemy.
Yeah. And I'm interested to just see Taskmaster on screen after, you know, he's the main villain in Square Enix's Avengers game, or one of them, and he's also was in the Spider-Man game on the PS4.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely interested to see what it will look like as Taskmaster on screen.
All right, next up we have Blade.
This I'm very, very, very excited about, because you have, I would say, one of my favorite actors going on in Hollywood right now, and that is Mahershala. Wow, I butchered that. So much for him being one of my top 5 favorite actors in Hollywood. And so you have him playing Blade. And I think that this casting was just a complete no-brainer.
Oh, yeah. We haven't really heard much about Blade and who they were going to cast. And so I think this one literally happened behind the scenes at Comic-Con. He signed his contract, and they're like, all right, cool, go out there, put this hat on.
Yeah.
You're Blade.
You're Marvel. I really hope that Disney and Marvel has the backbone to make this rated R.
Yeah.
Because...
And if you're dealing with vampires, it has to be rated R.
Like, you need to see some of that, you know, blood, and some of the... I really want to see some of that Wesley Snipes action that you got from the original trilogy of it.
It will be interesting to see which characters they bring into Blade, because surprisingly enough, there's been a lot of crossover between Blade and Spider-Man throughout the comics. So it'll be interesting to see.
Well, it's like, you know, Spider-Man's the day side of New York City, and Blade's the night side of New York City. Blade is immersed in different storylines. Yeah. So he's interacted with Wolverine in the past. Yeah. I mean, I personally would be surprised, but maybe that's how they introduce him. You know, but you have Blade, who's kind of been in this back alley character throughout the entire Marvel series.
So, like, what we just talked about is Phase 4.
Yeah. I mean, like, you have some really, you know, some stuff we already knew was coming out. We have Captain Marvel 2. We have Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Yeah.
Black Panther 2.
And something that, you know, I'm personally stoked about.
Yeah, I didn't expect this one at all.
Yeah, is Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Kevin Feige confirmed it. What I'm hoping will be the main villain of the next wave of Marvel movies, and it's Doctor Doom.
Yeah. He'd be the best on-Earth villain.
Yeah.
And then he can connect to, like, the Galactic.
Yeah, and that could introduce you to, like, things like Silver Surfer and the mutants.
He did confirm that the mutants are in the works. Yeah. And we'll be seeing mutants soon.
We've already heard that Deadpool is going to be coming over to Marvel.
You know, it's going to be interesting. Each of these movies are going to play off of each other, and it's going to just build and build. Honestly, we're interested in hearing what you guys think about the whole slate and where you think Marvel is going to go.
Yeah.
So
that's all
like,
for me.
subscribe, comment,
Yeah.
share.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Let me turn this shit off.